Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. This is Sunny. I'll talk about life transformations with the power of unconditional self love. So, as I talked about a lot of stuff in relation to lower vibrations in my previous videos, I talked about fears, anxieties, how to get over them with the help of meditation or probably with the help of journaling. I also talked about anger, egos, or identities that we carry with ourselves all lifelong. And once we pass that phase of slowly knowing how to tackle all those kind of different lower vibrations, then we come on to a stage wherein our nervous system becomes so used to those kind of mental transformations or emotional transformations that there's a calmness within us. So I want to talk about that emotional calmness that comes after that chaotic period of heartbreaks, financial losses, relationship losses, disrespect, deaths in our family, and whatnot. So every one of us faces those kind of moments of life when it feels so chaotic, when emotions surge like waves, which we cannot control. And I completely understand that because I've been through that for 20 long years. All those kind of things that you can imagine. Health problems, financial losses, relationship losses, heartbreaks, divorce. And the mistake many of us make is seeing the storm as an enemy. But really and truly, that storm is there for us to grow emotionally, to forgive, to accept, and to let it go. But in truth, each storm comes to show us what needs to be healed, right? It shakes loose old beliefs and helps us to rediscovering our strength. And now that's what happened with me, because what I feel like is a complete sense of freedom where I have very little anxiety, very little fear, and very little attachment to my ego or identity, wherein I'm open to learn and grow in all areas of my life. And as we say, time is just an illusion. I'm 43 years old and I've been through all those kind of things for 20 long years in my life. So if I start thinking again that, I've gotten old, it's too late for me to do all those kind of things, then I'm again stopping my spiritual growth. So when you stop resisting your emotions, you start hearing that you're really trying to tell you, I need your love, not your judgment. So how do we recognize the aftermath? And recognizing the aftermath is such an important thing. Why? Because we got to understand then what's going to be coming for us after we pass through that storm. So when the emotional and that storm passes, we are often left in the quiet echo that follows. Tired, uncertain, or even numb. Why? Because we keep waiting for the things to happen for us, right? And this is not a weakness, right? It is a natural settling of energy, because it takes a little while for the nervous system to get settled down in a new paradigm or an unknown zone wherein we are so skeptical about how the things are gonna work out for us. So our only task is to breathe, observe, and allow your heart to unwind. Silence after intensity is an emptiness. It's a space where space begins to rebuild itself. So that silence that comes after all those chaotic time in our lives is such a peaceful time that initially it seems like, I am getting detached from so many things. I'm letting go of so many things. what's happening, because our nervous system is not used to that kind of thing ever. And we are so attached to so many other things, so many lower vibrations in our life, that we have never experienced that kind of peace ever. So that sacred pause, it's a moment where between the reaction and the restoration. So this is the period that I'm talking about, where we are in the middle of that journey, right? One foot is in the past life and the other foot is in the future life. So we are literally jumping timelines there. And then an inner doorway of healing starts opening, right? Instead of rushing into distraction again, or probably getting back to the old self of yours, it's better to get that courage and allow yourself to pause. Take a deep breath. Take a step back. Feel your body weight against the earth. Feel your breath. And reconnect to the present moment, because coming back to the present moment is so important, that if we start, getting engaged in those kind of scary and anxious, fearful thoughts again and again, that energy wants us to go back into the old paradigm that we were so used to. However, you are looking for the transformation, so you got to take that courage and ask the divine to give you the courage and make you fearless to keep moving forward. So this pause is really and truly the reset button, which gives you the rebirth. And that's what happens with me. When the awakening happened for me because of attracting another narcissist person in my life, that triggered me so much, then I was always thinking that, wow, these things are happening with me all the time. And, I started going to church, I started meditating every day, maybe twice or, 3 times a day. And things started turning up for me, and my nervous system was very fearful initially, but when it got used to it, now this is the moment wherein I feel that I'm completely free. I'm back home and I love myself, no matter whatever the world is doing for me or without me. I don't care about it. But that botherless kind of a thing is not coming from the point of that I don't give a F about the world, not from arrogance point of view, but from a kindness point of view. Why? Because I love myself, so I portray my love, or I display my love energetically towards all the beings around me. So with that I mean is this true principle of the divine, Jesus, Buddha, every divine God or the universe that you're talking about, that we accept the people the way they are. So let's talk about the spiritual perspective, the light within the storm. So every spiritual path reminds us that even in chaos, right? So chaos could be health issues, financial losses, heartbreaks, divorces, relationship issues, disrespect, and so on and so forth. And I've been through all those kind of things for 20 long years. So that's where I bring that 20 long years of wisdom here on these videos, so that I could be really clear in terms of what really unconditional self-love means. So there is always a divine intelligence, the universe, the God, the creator is always with us. And the universe, the divine, the creator wants to give us everything. But what we do is we get stuck in that chaos. We get stuck in that storm. Why? Because we start blaming people. We start complaining about the circumstances. We fall into the trap of anxiety, fears. We create that kind of egoistic or identical based, image around us, wherein we are better than everyone and nobody's better than us, right? So that's what happens. So what really the universe says is, those storms are there as tests for you, okay? And the universe is already within you, but we do not recognize it, because that unconditional love and peace is always residing within us. But we have those fears, identities, comparisons, ego, all those kind of lower vibrations, that blame, that shame, that regret, that guilt, which keeps stopping us from our growth from all areas point of view, from mind, body, and soul perspective. We are not separate from the divine. We are not separate from the universe. In the Bible, it says the kingdom of heaven lies within you. What does it mean? It means that unconditional self-love and peace is within you, and you are not recognizing it. Why? Because you have developed that sense of looking outwards rather than looking inwards. And when you realize that you got to start from inwards and start creating your reality from inside out rather than outside in, every challenge becomes a teacher. You take a lesson from there. You accept the challenge the way it is. You stop blaming. You stop regretting about things. You stop complaining. You throw away your ego or identity, because the example that I want to give you is whenever you go to the gym instructor will tell you to throw your ego in the bin outside of the gym and come into the gym, and if you want to go ahead and transform yourself from body perspective. That's what the gym instructor says, right? And we do it for that matter, but when it comes to our emotions or relationships, we don't do it. That's what I'm encouraging everybody to understand. A surrender or letting go of things is such an important thing within our lives. If we get stuck there, those tests, those scenarios, that storm will never pass away. And we will always remain in that blame, shame, regret, egoistic, all those kind of energies, which are not really required for us. And when you realize this, then every challenge becomes a lesson learned. Every challenge becomes so easy for us. Why? Because we then grow from there. If there is a relationship challenge, we grow from there. If there is a physical challenge, we grow from there. We improvise. I have type 2 diabetes since 13 years or since 14 years now. And I transformed myself into something else that I never thought about, because I started following intermittent fasting, and I've been doing intermittent fasting for the last 6-7 years or so. I transformed from there. I reprogrammed my mind. I reprogrammed my emotions. And guess what? Where I am right now. Completely free. Doesn't matter. I've got issues going on. I've got problems in my life. My bank account keeps going up and down, up and down. I do not have, much stability in terms of my finances at the moment. But I'm working, right? I'm learning new things, and I'm trying to be confident in front of the camera and trying to grow myself, right? Emotionally, mentally. So that's what we gotta keep doing. Why? Because spirituality talks about growth. Spirituality talks about acceptance. Spirituality talks about letting go. The light never leaves you, because the light is that divine, which has the power of that peace and unconditional self-love that is always staying within you, but we cover them up with those egoistic identities, with fears, with anxieties, with anger, with all those lower vibrations. And that's why we are not able to unleash our most authentic version or the best version of ourselves. This cloud of lower vibrations is something that we got to work upon, which in a scientific way, we say that we got to reprogram our mind, remove our limited belief systems, start healing ourselves with the power of acceptance and forgiveness. And then we got to remember that you are not the storm. You are that sky that holds it all To get into that state, I always talk about meditation. And I teach a specific kind of meditation, which is the strongest kind of meditation that helped me to not just to heal myself on my own, but also help me to reprogram myself. So that meditation is entirely based on ancient Hindu meditation, which is a power of silence called as dhyana in Sanskrit. So this meditation is all about escaping from your thoughts, right? But not controlling it. It's about meeting yourself beyond them. So what happens now with me is, for majority of my meditation, there is no thought going on my mind. So can you just imagine that? If you get into the state wherein there is no thought going on in your mind, which means you are so calm and cool, you're mentally so stable that all that anxiety, fear, and the past is all gone, is all being healed. And there is complete clarity in terms of what you really want to do in your life. And in that quiet space, your nervous system calms down so much, your heart softens, and your intuition opens. That's why I kept saying in my videos, once you start doing this kind of meditation, your intuition power will increase in such a way that you will be able to identify or probably figure out everybody else's energy around you. So again, start with 5 minutes and keep doing it. Make it as a discipline. I highly encourage people to make it as a discipline, because if you're not doing meditation, we are missing so many things in our lives. So many things. That emotional calmness, that mental calmness, that peace, that love that is sitting inside you. And what we do is we are always looking for peace and love outside. That true calmness also comes with a lot of compassion, because we got to show a lot of compassion to ourselves, right? We're in the lack. Women are more compassionate than men. I will say that straight away, because women have got that kind of feminine energy wherein they will be showing a lot of compassion, a lot of love around them, because of that creativity, that energy of giving birth from their soul. So what I'm trying to say, there is always a 50-50 balance of feminine and masculine energy, right? So feminine is the energy of creativity, and masculine is the energy of leadership. So compassion really transforms your emotional scars into spiritual insights, right? So the moment you forgive yourself, love flows back. The moment you start forgiving people, love flows back again, right? And this starts your healing process. And that healing process will never end. But the initial phase is, something one step in, one step out. Why? Because we are starting that journey. But once you get used to it, it becomes a normal process. It's just like going to the gym every time. For the first year, it will feel like so hard for us to keep that motivation level up. But once you get used to it, then there is no problem after that. Why? Because then we know we are automatic, and the motivation always remains there for us, right? It's just the same way. So living from the calm is something when you begin living from peace instead of fear. And then your energy shifts, right? You communicate more gently. That confidence comes with calmness. You do not have to get that validation with your confidence, right? And then you face life's storm so easily, so quietly, because then you have that mental clarity in terms of how you're going to deal with different challenges in your life. So really and truly, that calmness is then taking you to a level wherein you are so peaceful that any kind of upcoming challenges or tests from the universe would feel like easy peasy. Although you will have to search for solutions, you will have to accept certain situations, you will have to forgive certain people, but it won't be a big challenge for us, or it won't be a big problem for us to do that, because we have already started that journey and we probably are in the third or the fourth phase or the fifth level of that, right? So always remember that every storm refines you in your life, and every moment of stillness or calmness reconnects you with who you truly are. So peace is not something that you chase, or love, that is not something that you chase. It's something you uncover inside yourself. No matter how dark the night or how loud the storm, remember this: calm will always return, because love never leaves. You are the peaceful witness behind every wave, the soul that remains unshaken. Rise again, softer and stronger, guided by the quiet light of peace and love within, and the same light that leads every storm back to the sun. Because always remember, what you are is what you're gonna get. This is Sunny. Take care.